let's start with the most obvious, Caitlin, and you know what that is. We were just talking about this. It's got to be Lady D, Lady Dimitrescu. There's no, you can't deny that she's gonna be in the S. Like we just gotta put her up in the S rank, right?
Yeah, you can stick her up in the S. Like it's fine with me. She looks fine. She's not like there's nothing weird wrong with her.
Yeah, no, and also like, I mean, I think she's hot, yeah, for sure. But the thing is that if I had any issues, I would definitely, most definitely be canceled. Because I'd have the whole, I would have the whole internet against me if I had any issues. If I did, but I don't.
Well, I feel like she's also got one of the best like boss transformations for her like final fight, which is kind of fun. So
Yeah, how many boss transformations did she have? It was kind of on the subtle side, wasn't it? Like she only transformed into the flying thing at the end, right?
yeah, I think so. Which was kind of I mean, she was kind of like a dragon, which was kind of awesome. So I
Yeah,
feel like she should get points for that too.
that's all she did. Yeah, that's really subtle, if we're talking about other villains or other bosses like Derek Simmons, for example, like in Resident Evil 6, who
Oh my
had
gosh.
six turned into a T-Rex, a fly, a lion. What
Too
else?
many transformations for him. And going through that game, I'm like, just die already.
Yeah, that was so annoying. That was so, yeah, no, or like in Resident Evil 2 with William Birkin having like how many, I think six or five transformations, five mutate. Yeah, just every Resident Evil boss seems to have a lot. It's very rare where you find one that's just one. But yeah, no, she's definitely, yeah, like I said, going back to what we were talking about, there's no issues. She's definitely hot. She's thick, you know. Curvy in all the right places. Yeah, she's pale, but I mean, yeah, she is a
The
vampire.
downgrade. Well, she is undead, so
Yeah, she is basically like they're trying to make her a vampire. So yeah, she's definitely on S. Yeah. There's nothing more to say. Anyways,
all right, stick her up there.
yeah. All right, so the next one that we're going to be talking about is Deborah Harper, or no, is it Harper? Yeah, Helena Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Deborah Harper. Yeah, from Resident Evil 6. Now, this is not her transformation into the boss, because she does get blonde hair all of a sudden. Pretty sure she goes up a couple of bust sizes, and she's completely dude. Which I will not show. This is why I picked the subtle picture of just her normal self, but we are referring to, her boss version, her mutated state, if you will. And so for that, you know what? And also that whole fight was really over sexualized. I don't know if you remember that. All the times that we played RE6, like it was a little
It was a bit much.
yeah, it's a bit much. Yeah, borderline going into pornographic. So for that, I mean, she's naked. There's nothing wrong with her. She did look kind of gooey, if I remember correctly.
She was slimy. She was straight up slimy.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but I don't know. What do you think, A or S? Just because of the slime, some people might be like, "No, that's an added bonus."
Or- Oh, you got me with that one. Are we basing it on her untransformed self or her transformed self?
No, her transformed self. Yeah, her transformed.
Her
Because
transformed
yeah,
self.
this is the bosses. Yeah, to be considered on this list, you have to fight them, and they have to look somewhat attractive when you fight them. So, yeah.
I mean, she's like pretty like nasty looking in her transformed self with all those weird arms and everything. So I don't think she should be S rank.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, now that I remember, I think she had like bloodshot eyes, or she had like some veiny stuff on her side of her face. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
if I
She
remember
looked a
correctly.
little
Yeah.
I'm just googling pictures of it because I couldn't quite remember. I'm like, oh, that's
I'm definitely not gonna Google. I'm not gonna get demonetized. So I'm just basing it off memory.
no one can see my screen though.
yeah, you're taking one for the team. So
So I'm looking at her face and I'm like, no.
yeah, like she had like some scratches or whatnot, right?
Yeah, she's like really veiny and like kind of bloody and a little gross, but like I get it. She still looks like a female and has like, all the parts and everything.
Her
So
bozoinkas are out.
yeah.
Yeah,
So she probably
she's
still has to be moved up the list realistically.
yeah. So you know what? I think A. I think we'll put her in A then.
Okay,
I think
that
that's
sounds good
fair.
to me.
Yeah, because she's not, totally hot, but yeah, she's not like Lady Dimitrescu, where she looks pretty normal. I mean, she's tall, but she's super pale. Those are the only the only things that I would put like on the cons list, right? But the pros heavily outweigh. So yeah,
I thought a lot of people liked the height thing. Wasn't that like a thing for people?
yeah, yeah. Step on me, mommy.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of
that's what it was.
a lot of people got weird. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The 8-foot person. They're like, yes.
I think she's
Okay.
9 feet actually, isn't she?
Oh my gosh. I'm derailing the conversation.
But she's already on at S rank, so we don't gotta continue. She's already solidified her placement,
she's
and
she's been placed.
yeah, she's been placed. Anyways, but speaking about Dimitrescu, let's talk about the 3 Dimitrescu sisters, which we did talk about in the first part of this ranking video. We did mention that all of them look pretty much very similar. I mean, they're sisters. The only difference was I'm pretty sure Cassandra Dimitrescu had black hair, which I think she's the one in the middle. And the one in the first one, I think that's Bella. Second one is Cassandra, and third one is Daniela. Now, I really liked Daniela just because I said this in that video. I said that Nicole Tompkins has a really sexy voice. All of them sounded really sexy, if I'm being honest. But Nicole Tompkins, I don't know. She took it to a whole nother level. So I kind of want to put her at A. So that's the third one. I kind of want to put her at
Okay.
A, but she does because again, they look pretty gross. They look like they just drank blood. They look a lot more dirtier compared to Dimitrescu. Dimitrescu doesn't have, blood, from her mouth and stuff, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're a little grosser.
What do you think? What do you think? Should this go on mid or no? I think it's probably the same amount of grossness as what's her name, Deborah, right?
Yeah, because I mean, at least they're not like slimy with multiple arms. I don't know. I mean, they do turn into fly things, which is kind of questionable, but
Yeah.
like their normal form is fine.
Yeah, so should all of
I can't speak to the voice thing because I don't. Maybe it's kind of female. I didn't really notice the voice thing that much with them, so
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
they all kind of looked very similar and sounded similar, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah, they're all pretty much they all have the same abilities. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what do you think? Should we put them all in A? Because I wouldn't consider them mid. I think a lot of them are pretty. It's just they just look gross. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, if they like clean the blood off their faces, they would be fine. So I think A is that's good with me.
Yeah, for all three. Yeah, should we just say that?
Yeah. Also, I mean, I don't know, sickles are pretty cool. So they chase you around with sickles. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, or sickles.
Yeah, they have like a sickle.
Oh yeah. It's like yeah, that's right. Wait,
Yeah.
isn't a sickle like the really big ones, like the Grim Reapers, or what? What is?
Not the scythe.
That's a scythe. That's okay. There we go. That's why. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the sickle's like a little. Yeah, the little version. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah.
Plus, I don't know. I like their outfits. Like the whole cloak thing with the hood is pretty cool. So yeah, I'd say they should go up there higher.
Yeah.
A is good with me.
Yeah. They got fashion sense.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Gotta rate them a little on that, you know.
Yeah, you gotta give them a boost. Yeah, I wouldn't put them in mid. Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't. It wouldn't feel right. All right, so now we're going to the guys. So now this is your territory. Because I ain't gay. None of us are gay, actually.
Hey, I made realistic expectations on the women, so you have to have opinions on the guy.
No, and I will. I will. No, don't worry. I have. But I did. We talked. We did a whole. We spoke like
I know.
for 40 minutes, Caitlin.
I'm just making fun.
All right, so we have Krauser, and the version that we fight Krauser in is this version right here, this picture where he's kind of after Leon and him had a fight, the knife fight. Leon kind of slashed his chest, and so he took the opportunity to put blood on his face.
Like a true Resident Evil psycho.
Yeah, it's definitely got issues. Yeah, we all know that from Krauser. But but I mean, if he didn't have the blood on his face, I mean, the only thing is that he does have a scar, but that's about it. He does look pretty normal,
Yeah, he looks pretty normal. He doesn't have any kind of like weird form going on.
Well, in that same fight later on, he does, transform his arm, and it does turn into like a tentacle shield kind of sickle, I guess, or some kind of a thing. Or it has like a bunch of spikes. It kind of reminds me of like the Soul Calibur games. I think there was one guy that had like some kind of weapon like that, or an arm. Kind of that kind of esque, kind of weapon of an arm. I don't know. It was weird, but I mean, technically we do fight him in the first part of that boss fight. He does look normal. He's just a complete psycho. So, but we're ranking this on the hottest, not on their like mental conditions.
They're all D's for mental capacity, but we're not going there.
They're all in the no thanks category. If we're just talking about mentally, right? Yeah.
I would say he probably has to go up pretty high. I mean, as we're just judging them on looks, like his face is kind of scary. Like he definitely makes some disturbing facial expressions. But the man's got a 6-pack, some nice pecs, like good arms going on. Gotta give him points for that.
Yeah, he's definitely swole. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, he's buff. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He ain't afraid to take his shirt off and stuff. So, yeah. So where would you put him? Where did you put him?
I mean, I'd say he's probably has to go up there pretty high in terms of villains that are like pretty good looking.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, personally, I feel comfortable if he's at an A. I don't know if he's at an S tier, just because I mean he does have facial scarring, so that is kind of like he does he does look really intimidating and stuff, you know what I mean? But like you said, he's not like completely ugly. I mean, the guy's buff, so I think maybe A, but I wouldn't say he's a perfect, S, No,
I wouldn't quite put him up at S. I agree. Because he's got like a weird sneer a little bit too, so.
Yeah.
I think A.
Yeah,
That's
A?
good with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we both agree on that.
Hopefully not everyone ends up in A.
no, I can tell you right now, not everybody's gonna go in A. It's just we're setting the bar here very high for S. But now now we're talking about my boy Wesker. So Wesker has no when you fight him throughout in Resident Evil 5, and he doesn't really look like disturbing in any way. I mean, his eyes are definitely, he's got like slit eyes, but he always has his shades on. So I don't know. For me, I think he's probably the most normal looking out of everybody. Or no, I mean, Jill's also pretty normal looking. Yeah. So, like Albert, Lady D, and Jill, they all look pretty normal. So for that, I would say Albert deserves to be on the S rank. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I knew him up to S. I mean, he's like got a normal face, good bone structure. He's like in good shape. He turns into weird things sometimes, but overall, he's one of the more normal looking characters. So I'd say he's fine in S rank.
Yeah, because he does turn into, he does at the end of the game for Resident Evil 5, which is the last boss fight or the final boss fight, he does turn into, he does just go all out and just, break open the Ouroboros, tanker and just infects himself with that. And then he gets that huge arm. You know what? I'm noticing a pattern here. What's with all the bosses having big arms? Like Lady D had she had like Wolverine claws on one hand, and then we also have Krauser who has that Soul Calibur-esque kind of shield, spiky kind of a thing. And then Wesker also had the same thing going on in the final boss of RE5. Yeah, I just noticed that connection. That's a lot. Oh, and also G also, like on one side of his arm, didn't he have like a? Yeah, I don't know. That one's a little. Yeah, he's kind of pushing it, but But yeah, but anyways, like I was saying, you fight him several times, and like I said before, right? To be considered on this list, you do have to just fight them. You have to at least have fought them. And since we fight Albert Wesker so many times, I guess we could just pick and choose which boss fight. Because like even with Krauser, like we were talking about before, Krauser's first fight was, he was just fighting normally with a knife. But then at the end of that fight is when he gets that whole arm thing going. So, but for the sake of this list, we're gonna go with, I guess, the best looking version of his boss fight. So yeah, so just to simplify what I was trying to say is that yeah, we're not really judging Albert Wesker on his final look, his desperate final maneuver look, but just his normal look, you know what I mean? And so for that,
Yeah.
I think that's why I think he should be on the S.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, even most of that fight with him in Resident Evil 5, he's normal. He's
Yeah.
only crazy Ouroboros style at the end.
Yeah, because you fight him like in the caves when he's double teaming with Jill Valentine, and then you also fight him later on. He's normal, and then also later on, right before he gets into his ship, and he gets all light sensitive. Right, you have to turn off the lights and shoot a rocket at him. So
Yeah.
he's normal, the whole time. So yeah, and there's nothing wrong with him. The only thing wrong, I guess, that would be on the con side would be his eyes, like I mentioned, right? But his slit eyes. But he's got glasses. He's hiding them from from any possible suitors.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know, the eyes might move him up higher. It's kind of cool. They like kind of glow and they're slits, a little bit unique.
Yeah, they're like cat.
Like, I think it gives the cool factor.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, definitely yes. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. So we have Allyson.
Just such a small part.
Allyson is a complete nobody. For if you guys don't know, is the Resident Evil 5. Like I think one of like the first chapter, you're running with Sheva, you go in and then you see Allyson, just some random chick that's like help, help, and then you go up and then she, Chris goes in, hugs her, or she goes up to Chris. They kind of hug a little, and she's like, "It's all right, whatever." And then all of a sudden, she transforms, with the flower thingy. So she's on this list because she is a boss, technically, like a mini boss, which puts her on the list. But yeah, I would honestly. I mean, the only thing that's distracting is the flowery mouth thing of like the progenitor virus, right? Mixed with Las Plagas. So
Doesn't her whole head go like creepy snake style though?
does it?
I think so, because isn't it like after you shoot her a couple times? You know how all the zombies, when you shoot them, their like head extends all weird in that game?
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of remembering that.
Too?
Does she do that, or does she just have the normal, like the flower, like the 4 petal? I call it like petal. You know what I mean, like the 4 thing on her mouth.
Let me Google this because I can't remember.
All right, I'll let you go.
Okay. Yes. So after you shoot her, her head goes all weird.
Oh, it does. So it does extend into like that huge tube of a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So that's something I didn't remember because I was just basing this off of the cutscene. But yeah, I mean, technically, if you're fighting her like that, then yeah, I was gonna put her in mid because this is what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it kind of reminds me. I don't know if you ever watched Scary Movie. I don't remember which one it was, but there's one scene where the guy's like, "Just put a bag over your head, like I don't want to look or whatever." He's trying to sleep with this. I don't know. I have like a vague memory. I don't remember the movie like at all, but I was saying you could just put a bag over her head and just call it a day. Because there's nothing else wrong with her, but if it's like, you know, she's fully transforming into like, you know, that second stage of like that huge gross thing coming out of their faces, then I think she would go in the no thanks
Okay,
category.
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna be like, I think maybe no thanks, because I don't. I wouldn't want to be near that nice headpiece with all the little weird blades on it trying to murder me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I said, if it was just the flower, it'd be like, yeah, just put a bag over your head. Just and it made me
We don't need to see that.
It made me think of that scene. It's I don't remember.
No, I'm just imagining her like putting that bag over her head and then like the little tentacles like coming out from underneath the bag.
Yeah. Like I said, it's been a long time since I watched that movie, but that's one of the scenes that popped up in my head. So yeah, no thanks. So what's her name? Allyson. Yeah, no. All right, so the next one is the Ashford brother and sister, right? Alexia and Albert Ashford. But we'll start with Alexia. So that's the picture right there. That's her form in Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Now this picture, of course, these two pictures are from Dark Side Chronicles because, you know, it's higher definition. You know, it's more HD-ified, you know, they compared to PS2 graphics. But but yeah, I mean, yeah, she is hot. You know, she does retain her bazoinkas, which is what we talked about in the first video. But now on the list, I don't know where we should put her. I don't know where we should put her. She's definitely not an A because she kind of looks a little weird. Because when you do fight her, you fight her like this, in that form. Like she's already transformed. You don't fight her in her normal form, which she just looks like a normal person. So, yeah, she kind of has, you know, like a little spiky hair, which is weird. And she's got like a flowery, she looks gray and stuff. And so, you know, I don't know if she should go in the mid or the no thanks. Should she be a hard pass or what do you think?
I would say we put her in mid. I think that she's a little too, like, she still looks like a person, and they did a good design with like the leaves going up the leg and down her arm and stuff. So I feel like mid would be the right level for this one.
Yeah, I would agree. Like I said, like I said, she retains her bazoinkas and all. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, we'll put her in mid. That's the first one to go in mid. All right, so now it's Albert. So Albert, this is what we talked about in the first video. If you guys didn't watch this, but in the game Resident Evil Code Veronica, you don't actually fight Albert. So at first I wasn't going to consider him on the list, but because you don't fight him, and to be considered on the list, this actually has to be a mini boss or a boss. But after I reviewed some footage of Dark Side Chronicles and I did play it again, there was one scene where you actually do fight him, and he acts a lot like a mini boss in Dark Side Chronicles. And so for that's the reason he's on the list, just in case you missed that first video. And so that's why he's here. And but when you fight him, obviously he's just shooting you with with his little sniper that has a red dot sight. And so and we did discuss this in the first video as well. Because you never played Code Veronica, I did mention to you that he does dress up as his sister. So he is beautiful enough that he could pass as his sister, you know? And like we mentioned before, this is not like a we're not judging their mentality, because he's definitely, he's definitely crazy. It reminds me a lot of the movie Psycho. I don't know if you ever watched that movie with,
No.
the villain for that old movie dresses up as his mom, and so you could tell that was the inspiration of this character in the Resident Evil franchise. He's definitely cuckoo, but but the fact that he looks normal, you do fight him. You do technically fight him. He is like a mini boss. You can't die from him because he does, and I did test that out. He does throw grenades at you in the Dark Side Chronicles fight. I didn't test if he could actually kill you in the normal game, but he could definitely damage you. The normal Resident Evil Code Veronica, but yeah, he's definitely a boss just because of the Dark Side. But since he looks normal, he could pass as his sister. That in turn shows that that he is hot. He is hot. you know.
See, I'm mixed on this because he can pass as a sister. I feel like this went into the no thanks category.
There's a lot.
I'm
There's
like,
a lot of. There's a lot of things that should put him in the no thanks area.
I'm staring at a picture of him and I'm just like, he's kind of ugly. And then he's got like these like black bags under his eyes. But to be fair, he does look human, so
Yeah.
I kind of want to put him in no thanks, but I feel like it's a little unfair because he looks kind of human. I don't know. What do you think?
You know what? I definitely think that he should either be in mid or no thanks. So it's either a
Okay.
0 or just give him a couple of bonus points just for looking normal. Like he looks like because like I said, we're not judging this on him being a total psycho. That's why he's got the bags under his eyes. Like he needs to go outside and smell some fresh air. Yeah.
I feel like if I'm judging it also a little bit on like cool factor, then I have to put him in no thanks because at least like some of the other people have like these cool boss forms or like cool weapons and he just has none of that.
No, he's just the guy with the sniper rifle. That's a
Yeah,
good point.
yeah.
That's a good point. So even like as a boss, yeah, he's pretty weak. Yeah, he's pretty on the low tier. So you know what? Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think you convinced me. I think yeah, he'll definitely be on the no thanks then. Yeah, Albert. Yeah, he's really not that special. He's a pass.
All right.
And we got two more. We got two more. So you know what? Let's do Derek first. Let's do Derek Simmons, the guy that's done like 6 transformations. And I did actually replay that whole part, which was which was annoying, especially by myself, since I don't recommend you play Resident Evil 6 by yourself. It's such a drag. It
Oh,
really
that
is.
train scene.
It's such a drag. But yeah, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 5 are definitely games that you have to play. I definitely recommend playing them cooperatively. But yeah, so Derek, he does transform in and out of that lion on that train scene. And so he does but he does have like a split face because he keeps
That's what I was
opening up.
gonna
And then all of a sudden he shrinks back to his normal self, and then he opens up and then turns into it. It was a weird fight. It's I'm gonna be honest. Derek is not. He looks like a normal human, right? But is he hot? I would say no. So who do you, I think he's in the no thanks. Like I don't think I know he's in the no thanks. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
so like we have no thanks, but we also have this D category, and I'm like maybe D because the whole split face thing, like that's worse than just transforming into something creepy. It's like I'm trying to be human, but like I'm like the Chucky doll over here.
Oh, actually,
No?
no. I actually took out the D list.
Oh, on mine
Yeah.
it looks. Oh, sorry.
So this
No
is the
thanks
D list.
then.
Yeah.
Ignore the D.
Sorry, I forgot to specify that. Yeah. When I was making the list, I forgot to take that out. Yeah, but I took it out on my end. So,
Oh,
but yeah.
okay.
So
Well, my bad.
no thanks is the D. It is like no, like a 0 out of 10. You are
I would
not.
give him a 0 out of 10. Okay,
Yeah.
we're good on no thanks then.
Yeah, we're on the same page. To be honest, I wasn't expecting you to be like, no, he's not.
He's so attractive.
I was not expecting that. So,
If I was just going off the coolness factor of like, oh, he looks like a lion, like maybe he would be moved up higher, but there's so many other demerits.
yeah, no, yeah, he was just a weird. He was honestly too. He was kind of like a boring boss, to be honest. Yeah, a boring villain, to be
He
honest
was
with
kind
you.
of the most annoying boss too, just
Yeah,
because I mean I don't want to fight him that many times.
yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah. But anyways, now we have Jill Valentine, and like I said, if you didn't watch the first video, Jill Valentine, we do technically fight her. She is kind of like a mini boss, but you can't go all out with her. You can't just be killing her. Like we did talk about that in the other video that you said when you first played Resident Evil 5, you did shoot her a couple of times when you played. You're like,
Well,
no,
because
that's
I tried to just off her thinking that was the right answer, but no, the game was like, you have to let her live. She's your friend.
yeah. You
Fine.
just shoot her in the face, yeah. But I mean, you do fight her. You
Yeah.
do fight her. You
I would
can.
definitely call it. She's a major boss. Are you kidding me? That fight is so hard,
Well, we
in
played.
my opinion.
We also we don't play like on easy difficulty when we played
Well, that's true.
RE5. Yeah, we mostly played on veteran or like professional. Like all our
I still
playthroughs.
thought she was hard though.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's what I mean. But on top of that, we also play on veteran or professional. So, yeah, she can kill you. So she does. I'm pretty sure she does a lot of sidekicks, a lot of just shooting you in
Oh
the
yeah.
face. Yeah, and
And if you're
also,
bad at like timed reactions like me, then that goes very poorly.
and she is assisting Wesker, who's just zipping across the whole map and just hitting you.
Yes.
But again, Jill looks normal. I mean, the only thing is that yeah, she does have blonde hair. That's not how she normally looks, but that's due to the fact that she had already the T virus infection or the Nemesis type variant infected from Resident Evil 3, and then Albert Wesker was also injecting her with different variants of the progenitor virus, and so that turned her hair blonde. We kind of discussed that and how it was weird how Deborah and then Jill, they all of a sudden they turned blonde. Like whose decision was that? That was very similar. That's very similar. Like it's like, oh yeah, sure, her natural hair color just changed all of a sudden. That's weird.
Maybe it's because Wesker's hair is already blonde, so they felt like all the villains have to go blonde when they become villains.
Well, actually, I actually did post a video because I read the book, and Wesker actually does prefer blondes.
Oh, there we go. It's
I
built
did-
into the virus.
Yeah, it's built into the lore that Wesker actually does prefer blondes. Go check that video out. I'll leave a tag right on the top right. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. Thought that
He's
was
an Aussie.
yeah. So yeah, so
Wow.
he does prefer blondes. Poor Excella. That's what I mentioned in the video. Poor Excella. But so yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to the list, I think that she's definitely an S tier. I mean, it's Jill Valentine. She's definitely
Yeah.
hot. She just looks
I'd
different.
put her in S tier.
Yeah, she's
I
definitely.
agree. Objectively, she's hot. So, I mean, I'm not gay, but objectively, as a woman, I'm like, yeah, like she's got a really nice body.
Yeah, she thick. Yeah, she thick.
Yeah,
There's no denying.
and she's very fit. Like she's got like a 6-pack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, anyways, that's our list.